Welcome back to the channel. Anne here. This channel is called Living with Grace. We got time, right? Yeah, we got time. I got time. You got time. Spend some time with me. Let's talk about it. All right. So yesterday, every day, every day, sometimes I go through the struggle of my thoughts and knowing that my thoughts are renewed in Christ and what God says about me. I always need to say it out loud sometimes so that it just manifests, and that's what I'm seeing, because sometimes we can get overwhelmed by the negative thoughts and actually entertain it, and that is exactly what we are seeing. The power of thought, right? The power of the mind. Welcome to the new subscribers. Welcome to the old, whether this is a podcast or even a straight up video on YouTube. Welcome so much. The channel has changed. We're just going to track with the way it's going to go. Okay. Whatever God is going to do with it, we're just letting it happen. As I share my life and the things that I've been through, overcame and healed from, it's like one of the best positions to at least share, because then it's not coming from a bitter, harmful, hurting place anymore. Before, it was just like, I'll give you the best advice for you to leave your man, for you to leave home, for you to cut this person off, for you to, deal with this person. It feels good at the time because it's working for you, so you want to share it. But when you come from a place of healing and understanding and the why and the root and the cause and the agenda and the plan and the ending destination with hope, with joy and love and peace, you want to share it. This is the platform. I thank God for it each and every day. Thank you so much. Okay, so today, my gosh, I believe I'm going to open it up by saying, I got time, you got time. And who you are going to invest in, it matters. You're investing in yourself, and you want to be able to be receiving information that's going to help you, right? So you don't want to waste your time. All right. So hopefully the time spent on this channel is beneficial to your soul and to your spirit and to your being. That's my prayer. Okay. So most of my videos, I will definitely say, I got time. You got time. Let's share this time together. All right. So, okay. I deleted a lot of my videos, but I want to at least recap on some that I have deleted, because it's mandatory. It's needed. Right. And so with what we've been seeing, and I'm not going to speak on other people's standpoint, what they think. I can only speak about what I think. So disclaimer, it's always going to be what I think and how I see it, because of how I see it. You may see it differently. The topic is open, but I will not speak for anyone else. I will not say that somebody else said something. I'm not going to bear false witness. I'm just going to speak off of what I've noticed and how it applies in my life and what has happened for me in that area, if it has touched me or if it has happened to me. And if it has happened to you, comment below. Okay. So a lot of things are being exposed in the world. I'm not here to report it. I'm just here to talk about it and see how it affects my life and how it may affect yours. A lot of things happen where it's brought to our attention where we're like, oh my gosh, that happened to me. I didn't know it was like that. I didn't, It's better to see something from that standpoint opposed to, oh my gosh, that happened to Keke Palmer. Oh, that happened to P. Diddy. Oh my gosh, that happened to, Usher. Oh my gosh, that happened to. They have their story. They know what happened to them, and it's for them to tell us, so facts is facts. Things are being exposed for a reason. If you want to look at the bigger picture in terms of it being right or wrong, right? And if what you're seeing has affected you where you remember a moment in your life that it happened, that is what you should reflect on. You cannot change anybody else's mind. You cannot give anybody else advice as much as you'd like to, especially if it happened to you. What you can do is assess yourself, deal with yourself, and heal for yourself, because it's brought to your attention because you did not know, or even if you did know, you know how to, and you're talking about it and it's surfacing because it needs to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Other things that happen in other people's lives is to trigger something in us, or at least make us aware of something in us. It's up to us if we want to deal with it or not. Sometimes we don't because it's so painful. I believe the things that hurt me, as it came to surface, and I gave it to God, and he showed me the root of it and showed me that he set me free and showed me that it will never happen again under his watch. Help me to heal from it. Help me to talk about it. Help me to at least share about it, and help me to be free from it. Right? So let's talk about the abuse that Keke Palmer allegedly is going through. I am not accusing anyone. I wasn't there. and nor were you. Okay, footage or not, documents or not, it's exposed, it's told, it's being said for us to see for a reason. Whether you entertain her personal business or you assess your own. You understand? I learned how to mind my own business, but when things are being brought up and awareness is being told, take heed and look at your own life. Is it happening to you? Right? So for me, when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I remember those days. I remember those days when, and allegedly, I don't know if that happened to her or not, but it touched me in a way where it pissed me off. Excuse my language, but it really bothered me. I'm trying to change my vocabulary because I'm a woman, right? Even though I'm old school and I have a history, I want to develop and become a queen, a princess, daughter, God's daughter better, and be that part and speak that part. So when I saw that, it put me back into place. So I'm going to tell you a story. Excuse me. Need to get my drink. I could speak about it now because I'm healed from it. I understand what took place. I forgave the person, all that stuff. So the posture and the tone in which I'm going to speak about it may not be relatable to you, but at least I hope it will help you, because when you see it in a place of anger and you're actually going through it and you're not healed, you'll want to deal with it differently and you'll see it differently. But then when you're healed from it, you look back and you're like, oh, okay, you know, okay, you know, and especially with understanding that you want better for your life, the boundaries are up, the restrictions are up, cutting off is necessary, but in a respectful way, because they're human as well. But you're just like, I don't need that in my life. When you heal and stuff, you can associate with them and realize that if they haven't changed, the conversation is only hi and bye. You understand? So I remember, man, I've been in so many abusive relationships. I thought it was like called a relationship. I thought it was normal. I thought it had to happen. This is part of the feud. This is how we get to learn to love one another and who the strongest one is. And, you know, fists and hands and blood had to be shed and flung. I thought that was what a relationship entailed. I really did. Not anymore. Thank God. Not anymore. It's so tiring. It limits you. You don't even have enough strength for anything else. My gosh, day by day, it's just what's next? What's going to happen next? Is he going to cheat? Is he going to hit me? Is he going to take my money? You know, what should I do to defend myself? Should I take a cord? Should I, deal with him in his sleep? Like the thought process and the execution of it. Actually, I did most of those things. To tell you the truth, I did. It was a back and forth battle that we both wanted to fight, and nobody won. As much as we thought we did, nobody won. So yeah, the hands-on, the hand, the punching, the choking, the kicking, the hospitalization, the counseling, the 911 calls, the restraining orders, all them things that, and you tend to blame yourself because it's a part of it. So you don't want to rat on nobody. You don't want to, because you're taking part in it. You're part of the game. You're the opponent, whether you're the victim or you are part of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not blaming anyone saying that you're in it for a reason. It's your fault and all that stuff. I'm saying it's a season in your life that you're in this situation. You have a choice to come out. Some people were not successful in coming out. And my cousin Brittany Newman was one of them. And that's why another part of me is like adamant and passionate to share this information, knowing that I came out of a relationship, but she did not. Her life was ended by her ex-husband, or her husband at the time that she had left and fled. He decided to just take her life. For whatever reason, I haven't spoken to him. I've forgiven him, but there's many situations where we are in a relationship thinking that it's normal and it's okay, we'll get by, and this too shall pass, in that, in the abuse and all the mental torment and all that stuff. We can call it all these labels, but you're still in it, and your life was spared, or your life may be taken. You need to take heed. Part of the reason why this channel exists. The things that God has set me free from and made me realize in it, now that I'm out of it, to share. You know what I'm saying? I was in so many abusive relationships. My God, like in the hospital, premature birth, holy smokes, knives, guns. Because YouTube might take it out, but hopefully the podcast, I can be so free with what I got to say, because the truth will set you free. And I continuously went back to those relationships. I thought it was a form of love. It was attention that I needed at the time, and I was willing to go through all of that just for pleasure, company, lust. I can say this now because it wasn't love. So many different reasons, even insecurity within myself, thinking I didn't deserve anything else. A pattern of life that I needed to go through because everyone else around me was. And that's another thing too. The company you keep can show you that that's what's going to happen too. It takes a person with a strong mindset to understand that this is not right. And as you seek for righteousness, or you seek for the right answers or the correct way of doing things, you'll realize that this is, and sometimes you can be so entangled in it that you don't know how to get out. I continue to seek because I didn't want that lifestyle for my kids, nor did I want it anymore, regardless of having 2 different baby fathers and being in and out the hospital. I continued to seek, and I was seeking the truth. So many times I mentioned, I was in abusive relationships. They could have taken my life many a times, me and my child's life, like many, many, many a times. And I thank God for his grace and his mercy that I'm alive and well in my right mind today. Oh, I got another video in regards to true riches. That would be the next one. So if you see me in the same shirt, that's how it go. Because words need to be said and heard and taken in. So even in that, getting out of those relationships, whether it be in a shelter, whether it be moving in with someone else, whether it be, I found that once I left those relationships, even though I needed to renew my mind in a correct way of receiving a proper relationship, that was a process. That's a different process. If you need to know, it takes time, but to come out, to deal with yourself, to see yourself, and then move forward, it requires healing to deal with yourself, right? Because you don't want to go into another relationship like that, nor do you want to even think that it's just that one person that's like that. When you haven't healed, you tend to attract the same thing, right? And it's another lesson learned with a different face. But I thank God that he saved me and took me out of those relationships by me being obedient, hearing that it's not good, because, God doesn't physically take you out. He'll send people to speak to you. He'll even speak to you in your dreams or even talk to you. It's our choice to make that choice to leave, even if we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. For me, that was my mindset. I didn't know where I was going to go, what was going to happen, but I was just like, I needed to come out. And when I left those relationships, even though it was repetitive, there was peace. And the reason why for me I can say that it was repetitive is because I didn't heal during the time that I left. Even though I had peace, I went right back into another one. And I don't think it was because of I liked the abuse and the attention. It was merely company and sexual desires and lust. I'll admit it. I'm set free from it, so I can speak about it. And I think God honors that too when we're confessing our sins and we're admitting certain things that we're struggling with. When we speak the truth, then we can at least be free from it in terms of getting healed, like being healed. And, because when we hide it, it's not like we're hiding it from people as much as we think they don't see us. It's God that sees us all the time. I just wanted to touch note in that area, because even when we're going through it, we think that God is letting it happen and he's seeing all of this, I will say this now since I know, we make choices in our lives, whether it be right or wrong, that God gives us free will to make that choice. When I decided to choose him, I didn't do it when I was in and out those relationships. I figured I can just handle it on my own and do it myself, leaning on my own understanding. But when I actually genuinely from my heart, from my soul saying, God, please help me. I need your help. And I gave myself to him completely, is when he started to hold me and nurture me. God is always there. It's a matter of us making the choices that are either of the enemy, which is bad because it's the wide road where it's more options and it's right there in your face because you'll send somebody to come in your face and tell you how much they love you. Is it called gaslighting? I don't know. But then there's God's love and God's way and God sending people in a direction where it's like spend alone time with him, be alone. You don't need someone right now. I am everything you need. So it's like God we don't see, but we're like, okay, but the enemy presents things that are tangible and that we can see, and it's going to help us in the moment that we tend to choose. So God is always there, and he respects our choices, whether we choose him or not, his ways or not. Right? So just keep that in mind, because we give we downplay God so much and we give the enemy so much credit when based off of our choices and our understanding and things that we know and we think that are right is based off of our free will and our choice, whether it be wrong or right. And the thing is with God, he forgives us, period. Like even when we make the wrong choices, he's always there. He's always there. But the enemy will try to stop you from receiving the right choice and going the right way and receiving that partner, receiving the things that God has for you, because he does not want you to have it. It's simple. We could say it's people because it's visible and it's tangible and it looks like that, but the enemy does use people, and he'll use somebody to snuff you out, like wipe you out, whether it be in a relationship, whether it be you taking your, you having the thoughts of even taking your own life and all that stuff. So when we look at life and we look at the decisions that we make, and we see other people going through certain things, it's quick and easy to cast judgment on somebody else because we're witnessing whether we went through it or not. But if you've been through it, you can relate, right? But when you're seeing other people go through it and you want to give them advice, my best advice is take a look at yourself, assess yourself, make the necessary corrections in your life, make the right choices because it's never too late, and be that example for somebody else because we're watching more than we are listening. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that. I truly believe that because when I was going through my stuff, I seen my cousin going through it, seen other people go through it, and they're trying to give me advice. I'm like, okay, you're telling me what? Like, what you telling me? But when I seen and seeked other relationships that are very pure and beautiful and loving, like genuine love, not no abusive love, I was like, that looks normal to me. That looks right, And the more that I spend time with God, I was like, because God is in it. And is flourishing because God's in it. I want that for myself. I'm not sure about you, but this should be a desire. Ask God for the desires that he's placed in you, because our desires is not of God's desires as much as we say it is, because God put it there, but our wants are different from God's needs that he's placed in our lives for us to have. You know what I'm saying? And if it's a fulfilling relationship, abuse is not involved in that. Period. Point blank. Abuse is not a part of that. Verbal abuse I found in my relationships in the past hurt me more than physical, because I could take a lick. Like I used to get beat all the time. The words hurt me so much because I'm like, you're supposed to love me, but you're calling me these names. And even if the person wasn't around me, the name stuck with me. Physical abuse, they hit me. I had a black eye, busted nose, things all over my neck and stab wounds. I put a bandage on it and knew I was going to heal. My mind was still strong because I knew who I was at the time. But when words are spewed, I'm like, wow. So verbal and physical abuse is abuse, hands-on abuse. And the more that I learn to love myself the way that God loves me, it helped me to not tolerate certain things. So if I'm learning, because I didn't know before, I know that God's going to place people in my life that are going to be patient with me as I learn, as I become more practical about self-expression and love. The other person would be more patient. They wouldn't yell and scream. They wouldn't call me stupid. They wouldn't say that I'm not normal. They wouldn't compare me to another person. Like there's so many different things. And the thing is, what made it so much more easier, even in friendship and relationships, because I know how much God loves me and how patient he is with me. I'm not saying God is like that. Other people are like God. What I'll say is my boundaries and who's going to be around me and who I'm going to develop with and grow with is crucial, because God would never send somebody around me that's going to speak to me like that while I'm growing. I'm not doing it to them. Why should they be doing it to me? I give people grace, a lot of grace. But when you're in my intimate circle, it's not that I don't trust you, because, I trust God, but I trust who he sends in my life. But I also need to allow him to remove, and I physically remove people that are not supposed to be in my intimate circle, like eat dinner with me and know a lot about me. You got to keep very few. That's another video. That the person that's closest to me, that's going to be my longtime partner, would allow God to use them in a sense of developing patience in them, developing a new way. So as he's learning, I'm learning, and we're learning together, and we're learning God's way, and we're learning the correct way, opposed to someone staying in their way and saying that it's right and I'm always wrong. I there's so many things I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with that. I know that's not from God. And it's easier for me to say that now because of all the relationships I've been in and God showing me who he is and, what he's presenting to me. So I'll have friends and we can debate and challenge each other and motivate each other, which is good. But an intimate partner, a person, a relationship that you're giving yourself to, whether it's right or wrong, when you're growing in that relationship, both of you guys are growing together. And to me, it's crucial that God is love, is in that relationship. He's the foundation of that relationship. If he's not, the relationship's going to be this way. We please each other. You do for me, I do for you. I'm disappointed because you didn't please me. It's back and forth, pleasing each other. When God is in it, it's like, okay, God, you gave me this gift. How can I nurture her? How can I cover her? How can I submit to him? How can I uplift him? How can I, and we get our instructions from God, and it makes it easier because even if the person doesn't, respond back to us or give us what we think we should get from them, the reward we get and the contentment and the love and peace we get is from God when we're loving that person, even if we don't get that I love you back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. And I'm still learning, and I'm glad I'm still learning. Let me know in the comments if you're learning, if you're there. But if you're in a relationship that's abusive and wrong, comment below. Let us know, because it's good to speak about it, because sometimes you could be naive and make excuses for him and not even know it. Comment below. The process is supposed to be beautiful, edifying, growth, nothing, depleting, taking away, dividing it. The more you spend time with God, the more you know what his love is and how to receive love and how to love others. It's very important that we understand that. Learning how to love, it's very important. Even if you read a book, it's very important. And if you're in a relationship where you feel that you're loving them more than yourself, you really need to really assess the order. Spend time with yourself and God. Go for walks, talk to him. He will let you know. He will take you out. He will lead you. He will do all of that. And he'll teach you how to love yourself more. Do you know what I'm saying? He'll make it easier. He does a lot, and he'll send help. He will. It's a level of belief, though, because he's done it for me. That's why I talk about it. He's done it for me. And that's why I wanted to share this with you, because we feel destitute. We feel like there's no one. We feel like this is it. Let me just settle with this, when there's so much more. And a level of patience and knowing yourself and exploring the things that you like and the things that you don't like will help with the goal or the timing when God would want you to be with someone, to experience love, to experience, companionship, because then the compliment will be genuine, not necessarily for money or for, you know what I'm saying? I've been there, done that, manure. I know. Anyhow, hopefully this video touched you. Hopefully this podcast touched you. And I'll see you in the next video. All right.